When you think about epic battles, you probably picture soldiers on the ground, right? Or maybe ships at sea. But what if I told you one of the biggest strategic fights happening right now is taking place 30,000 feet in the air? Yeah, it's a war over this invisible highway in the sky, a resource that's literally worth millions of dollars on a single flight. This is the war for the sky.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is the world's most valuable shortcut? Is it a canal? A secret mountain pass? The answer, well, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Nope, it's not on the ground at all. The answer is the massive, sprawling airspace over Russia. For years, this has been the ultimate shortcut. Think of it like a modern-day Silk Road, but in the sky, connecting the economic giants of Asia and North America in the fastest, most efficient way you can imagine. But now, this prized route has become a major flashpoint.
And that flashpoint, it has created this huge divide in the airline industry. We're not talking about some minor disagreement here. This is a fundamental split that has created a deeply, deeply unfair system. It's basically split the sky in two.
And you won't believe how quickly this all went down. So, back in March 2022, the war in Ukraine starts. Almost immediately, Washington bans Russian flights. And just as fast, the Kremlin fires back, banning U.S. airlines from its airspace. But here's the kicker, the real loophole. Russia didn't ban everyone. Chinese airlines, they were still totally welcome. And just like that, you have this instant, game-changing imbalance.
And the consequences of that are just so stark. I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got the U.S. carriers totally banned. They're forced to take the long, expensive way around the entire globe. But on the other side, Chinese carriers get to just cruise through that shortcut. The result is this massive competitive advantage that isn't built on better service or anything like that. It's built entirely on geopolitics.
Okay, so as you can probably guess, this has led to a furious battle of words. Each side is pleading their case. To really get what's going on, let's meet the main characters in this high-altitude drama. First up, let's call them Brother United. So United Airlines is stuck, watching its Chinese competitors just fly right over them on this perfect shortcut offering cheaper and faster flights. And they are absolutely fuming. From their point of view, this is just not fair competition. They feel like they're being punished for their own government's policies, while their rivals are just cashing in.
So what does United do? They, along with other U.S. airlines, start lobbying Washington, and a proposal gets drafted to ban Chinese airlines from using Russian airspace on flights headed to the U.S. Well, when news of this potential ban reached the headquarters of China's big airlines, it caused an absolute earthquake.
Okay, so now let's meet Sister Eastern, as in China Eastern Airlines. Picture her as the meticulous one, counting every single drop of fuel. The very thought of this ban sent her into a complete tailspin. Her team ran the numbers, and the results were just horrifying. This wasn't just some inconvenience, it was a logistical nightmare that threatened to completely destroy her reputation for being on time.
I mean, we are talking about an extra 2 to 3 hours of flight time per flight. And that's not just time, That's tons of extra fuel getting burned, that's skyrocketing maintenance costs from all the extra wear and tear, and it's a total cascade of missed connections for passengers. It's pure operational chaos. Meanwhile, over at China Southern Airlines, Big Brother Southern had a much more immediate problem. He's the practical one, right? Always focused on the passengers, the schedules, the numbers. So his reaction was just pure panic, because he'd already sold the tickets for the busiest travel season of the year. And the numbers here were just staggering. In their official complaint, China Southern said that at least 2,800 passengers had already booked their holiday travel. And let's be clear, this isn't just a statistic. That's 2,800 family reunions, critical business trips, long-awaited vacations, all just hanging in the balance. We're talking about a massive public relations disaster. But the drama didn't stop there. Oh no. As the tensions kept rising, the conflict took this really sharp turn, and it pulled another airline into the mess. An airline that was basically just trying to mind its own business.
So in its official filing, United Airlines didn't just go after its mainland Chinese rivals. They pointed a finger all the way over to Hong Kong, right at Cathay Pacific. United basically argued, hey, if we're going to level the playing field, we have to be thorough. Cathay was also using that Russian shortcut, and United wanted them banned too. It just goes to show you how fierce this fight had become. Absolutely no one was safe.
Okay, so we've got these corporate giants battling it out in the sky. But what does any of this actually mean for us, for the rest of us? Why should you, sitting at home right now, care about which route an airline takes? Well, the simple answer is because in the end, you're the one who pays for it. Yeah, the logic here is painfully simple. Look, whether it's the US airlines being forced to fly the long way around right now, or the Chinese airlines getting forced to do it later, the outcome is exactly the same. Longer routes mean higher costs for fuel, for the crew, for maintenance, and airlines, well, they're businesses, they're not charities. They don't just eat those costs. They pass them directly on to you, the consumer, in the form of higher ticket prices.
So here's the bottom line, the most crucial point of all. No matter who wins this argument, the passenger loses. Every time. Whether United succeeds in blocking its rivals or not, the final result is a market where everyone has to fly longer, less efficient routes. And that means we all end up paying more money for a slower, less convenient service. That's the real takeaway.
You know, this whole saga, it's not just about airlines. It's actually a fascinating case study in strategy, in competition, and in dependency. And when you look a little closer, the choices these airlines are facing, well, they hold some pretty powerful lessons for how we navigate our own lives, our own paths.
Just think about it for a second. The Chinese airlines, they were relying on this fantastic shortcut, right? But it was an external advantage, something they didn't actually control, and that makes it fragile. See, true strength isn't just about finding the fastest route. It's about having the core skills to be able to fly the long way around when you absolutely have to. And on the flip side, what was United's strategy? It wasn't to build a faster plane. It was to try and force everyone else to fly slower. That's a race to the bottom, and it hurts everyone. The truly winning move? It's to stop trying to block someone else's airspace and start innovating to find a brand new sky for yourself.
So I'll leave you with this question. In your own life, in your career, in your projects, what are you spending your energy on? Are you trying to create a new, better path for yourself? Or are you just getting angry about someone else's shortcut, hoping you can find a way to block it? The answer to that question, it says everything about the journey you're really on.